Hello, my name is Brendan Shine. I'm the author of this book, Maintenance and Facilities Management. I also lecture on both subjects. I am the Maintenance and Facilities Manager of this very large and very successful pharmaceutical company who have been in business for over 36 years. I've been with them over 25. The subject of my presentation today is facility management. There are going to be three areas that I'm going to cover. The first will be what is facilities management and how it affects our daily lives. The second will be the technical day-to-day activities associated with facilities management. And the third will be the strategic and administrative business background activities that are required in facilities management. And facilities management as a whole, it involves people, environment, assets and processes. So the first part of my presentation will be what is facilities management and how it affects our everyday lives. I'll do an analogy here between domestic and industrial. There are millions and millions of facilities managers around the world. Everyone who's a homeowner is a facilities manager. Here, first thing when I ask people what is facilities utilities, they say water, electricity, natural gas, solid fuel. But in fact, these are 24 of the different typical day-to-day activities that you do in your home, like electricity, water, home heating, air conditioning, natural gas, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, foul sewer, electrical showers, immersions, smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, wall drain pipes, windows, electricity, everything associated with your home. You make sure that everyone who's in there is safe. You're responsible for your property. Make sure everything is okay. Everyone is in the building is safe and well. Also, you make sure there's no electrical wires, anything associated with it. So this is the domestic part of it. So this is what you are. You're a domestic facilities manager. So when keeping this in mind, you know the amount of safety and everything else that's involved in this and responsibility that goes with owning your own home. When we escalate it, we go now to industrial facility side, hotel, airport, you multiply it by 100, 1,000 and 10 or 10,000. All depends on the size of the facility. But with that, so does the responsibility and safety escalates in the same manner. So you can see from your home to a huge, huge facility. So this is what it takes to be an industrial or facility or airport hotel facility manager. So what, again, we take up the size of the actual facility itself. When we go back to our home, you see the central heating boiler here is 24 kilowatts, normally standard 24 kilowatt boiler. You go to the industrial and it's 24,000 kilowatts. So what you virtually have is everything is on a massive scale. But again, the basics still remain the same: mains, electricity, water, steam boilers, cooling, natural gas, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. I'm sure there's other areas that you consider your own in your own building or infrastructure. But again, everything like this: fire, smoke, carbon monoxide alarms, your office furnishings, your space, your rentals, how you actually lay this out for it to make sure it's actually ergonomically suitable to all its occupants. You make sure that the compressed air, liquid refrigeration, everything associated with the building comes under facility management. Down to laundry, fire alarm panels, cooling, chilled glycol systems, natural gas, everything associated with it. So again, we'll go. So the definition there's many definitions there for facilities management. The one I like the most is the European Committee for Standardisation. It's ratified in 31 European countries. It says the integration of processes within an organisation to maintain and develop the agreed services which support and improve the effectiveness of its primary activities. So what does that mean? So what it's saying is the agreed services of facilities management are the non-core primary activities of an organisation. So again, what does that mean? So an example would be a drugs manufacturer's primary activity is to make drugs, which involves the synthesis of bulk active ingredients. So the facilities management supports the primary activity via the agreed services it provides to a building, its equipment assets and the people who occupy it, which in turn helps them to be more productive. So when people come into a facility, when they're comfortable, they're safe, they're warm, everything, their conditions are right, and the building and the surroundings, everything is perfect. The operation for washroom changing, bespoke operational personnel, electricity, compressed air and nitrogen. The general operation area is the lighting, temperature, relative humidity. They must all be provided by the facilities management in a safe, clean, and of course a clean plant is a safer plant, fit for purpose, GMP, regulatory, environmentally friendly and cost efficient manner. So ultimately a drugs manufacturer's all primary activity is to make drugs the facilities management make sure that they do so. So an example here now would be a transition from human machine facility management to computer-aided facilities management. This activity here, where it's 30 or 40 personnel manually go around, record all parameters within machines, within the industry, within the plant. They make sure that everything runs smoothly, but it's very manual operation. So what actually happens is it's very human machine intensive. So the transition from human machine facility management to computer-aided facility management means that it's the support of FM by information technology. So if we look here, where now we have 2 or 3 people and it's completely taken over now by programmable PLCs, programmable logical controllers. The instruments report to the PLCs and the technicians make sure that all this is in place. This has now replaced, now where you have seen a lot of people here, you now have 2 or 3 people, so automation is taken over. Especially in these is where people want to be more commercial, plant needs to be more commercially viable. Having 30 or 40 people go around manually taking recordings is not the way to actually for a plant like this, because with the computer-aided facilities management, it's monitored 24/7, 365 by bespoke PLCs, fail-safe shutdown, and especially now that with the onset of technology has actually made this happen, because up to 20 years ago it would have been much more manual control, but now because of technology, information technology, this is all happens through a thing called SCADA, which is supervisory control and data acquisition. That'll be one of the platforms for EcoSmart green buildings, where people now want to make their buildings carbon neutral, and also reduce their energy costs, etc. So, and as well as that, then they want smart buildings. So it's all about making the building more commercially viable and more comfortable for its occupants. So from here, then I've been asked, but there's so many people losing their job, and how can that be? But if we go to the next slide, where you have the plant, you have the 2 or 3 facilities personnel, you have the PLCs, the instruments that are reporting. But now the people who were in the first slide, these people here, are now becoming these people here. They're now becoming control room operators, automation engineers. They're evolving into new roles. So the machinery infrastructure performs full automation, controlling fail-safe control, monitoring and data recording of all associated machinery and assembly equipment. I know it's a mouthful, but again, it's got to the stage where the technology now is we have condition monitoring, specialised equipment being carried out in real time, and vibration analysis, infrared thermography. So this is much more human automation intensive, and this is the way all new smart buildings, everything associated with it, are actually moving forward to this type of technology. So again, this is an example of a chilling system where you have a 60 metre cubed tank, a buffer tank, and you have associated pumps. This is out in the field. This is actually in the control room. This is the mimic screen. You'll be looking at the supervisory control and data acquisition I was speaking about. But again, just to give you an example, that this here is this tank. These are your pumps and the associated pumps. So everything in real time, what's happening outside in the field, it's happening in front of your screen. So you have your temperatures, flows, pressures, and a complete recipe to this runs to set temperatures and fully alarmed, fail-safe, everything associated with it. So that's an example of computer-aided facilities management. When you see people in control rooms, this is what they're doing, because you can't have people all day. You could, but and this is the way to actually, this is the way we're moving forward regarding technology. Again, we're going to go to the second part of the presentation now, which is day-to-day technical activities. We've already spoken about computer-aided facilities management, but then to support these, where the plant is actually running, you have the control room operators. If something goes wrong, you must report it to the maintenance staff. Maintenance staff is via computerized maintenance management system through a maintenance work order system. So if anything goes wrong here, this control operator stays in the control room. He reports it by his CMMS system, and it goes straight through maintenance. Maintenance then go in and find out what's wrong and fix the problem. But again, to make this person here, to make their life easier and to actually help them to do their job, they must have all the plant O&M manuals, operation and maintenance manuals, equipment labelling must be done without saying, as-built engineering, PMID, electrical and mechanical drawings, firefighting equipment, emergency contact numbers, instrumentation, calibration and testing of all plant equipment, personnel, the safety, the PPE training and maintenance work order system, engineering information library. So again, everything associated to help that person to do their job, all this must be in place for them. So, and again, everything has to be with preventive, predictive, condition-based maintenance programs, building management systems, site energy management strategies, awareness, It's not just down, everyone's involved, everyone is responsible for site safety, and everyone's responsible for site energy management. Again, health and safety, environmental compliance. I left this one deliberately as the last one, engineering information library, because it's hard and soft copy. I cannot stress this enough, that it's vital to have this in your site, your engineering line, but a soft copy, no matter where personnel are on site. If an issue arises, personnel have access via any local PC on the site's internet to all the O&M manuals. So all the big manufacturers, all the big world-class manufacturers, all provide their information, their equipment, machines, all in PDF, so you can download them into a PC. So no matter where you are on the plant, whether you have a local laptop or you actually use a local internet, you can log on, find out how the piece of equipment works, and then operate it. But again, you can't stress it enough that make sure to have the URS, FDS, the PNIDs, the O&M manuals, instrumentation, electrical drawings, mechanical drawings, SOPs, IQ, OQ, training, everything associated with that with a piece of equipment should be on one section in the system folder in hard copy, preferably soft copy and hard copy, because it should, and update accordingly. So again, I cannot stress this enough, how important this is. The third part of the presentation is about the strategic, administrative and business management side of it. So again, this is all to make the previous, to make this actually happen. You have the people in another set of people in the background making all this happen. You have the site administrative documentation, customer relations, the building regulations, civil fire safety certification, make sure all this is in place. Utility energy suppliers contracts, time management, accounting and budgetary management, the CapEx, the OpEx, and the capital expenditure, the operational expenditure. With the likes of energy, you're talking, with a plant like this, you're talking millions and millions in euro costs to actually run the plant. So it's vital to employ good energy management at all times and invest accordingly. Also, very, very important is the knowledge management, personal systems training on the people who actually keep the facilities management side of it operational. It's vital that they know exactly what they're doing and they're fully trained. The management operation meetings goes without saying, resource management and personal organisation, workwear, good communication channels, rentals, engineering, stock levels, the likes of your facilities management, you just say your air handling units needing HEPA filters, panel filters, bag filters, all you must make sure they're always available in your stock area. Again, health and safety management, environmental management, risk management, SOPs, everything associated with facilities management, as-built engineering drawings, critical to the proper running of a plant, fire drills, alarm testing, evacuation procedures, everything associated with the administrative, you can see clearly, and as well, you must, to be a good, not only to be a good technical, you need to be a good technical manager, but you also need to be a good business manager when it comes to facilities management, because there's a lot of people and a lot of money involved. So that is the third part of the presentation. On the threshold of a new area of innovation and change with the rise of the industrial internet. I cannot stress this enough, the importance of the industrial internet, because it's an incredible source of information, and as well the leading manufacturers, product manufacturers will leave their information freely available on their sites for downloading PDFs. Also, they also provide unbelievable information regarding the actual, the likes of steam, PLCs, levels, flows, temperatures, pressures, and they give all the actual physics and the science behind how they actually make their products, as well as how they actually work. And these all can be freely downloaded, access, or you have access, or you can be downloaded. So again, the O&M manuals, the PDF files of the bespoke equipment that you actually buy on site, I cannot stress it enough how critical they are to make sure that you have them available at your fingertips. Again, two charities benefit from the sale of this book. One is the Milford Hospice Cancer Care Centre, and also Concern Worldwide. So if you want to contact me, I'm on www.facebook.com and under the page Troubleshooting and Fault Finding, and also you can buy the book on Amazon.com. Thank you for watching.